LGB. 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 LGB.
They say LGB everywhere I go. LGB. What it means, I don't know. LGB. Whatever it is. LGB. Kamala, help me, please. Please.
Alrighty then.
Thank you. LGB.
That let's go, Brandon, right?
LGB.
This means let's go, Brandon.
No. LGB.
Sounds like let's go, Brandon, I guess.
LGB. All right.
Let's go, Brandon.
I am Cornholio.
Chant LGB. Right wing and left wing. LGB. Go, you know the thing. LGB. If you don't sing that back. LGB. And you ain't black. LGB.
Let's go, Brandon.
LGB.
Let's go, Brandon.
LGB.
Let's go, Brandon.
FJB. Let's go, Brandon.
I'm
C&E presents the No BS Show. With your hosts, Chris Mize and Doug Dock. It's the No BS Show. Take it away, guys.
And off we go.
And off we go. First off, I want to thank our veterans. Without them guys, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we got. Second, I want to thank the militaries over and overseas our homeland. We appreciate everything you do, protecting what freedoms we have left. I want to thank our first responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, tow truck drivers. We appreciate you guys. And boy, did Biden step on his dick yesterday.
I heard that. And
Why would you? Why? You know, we had a whole show planned. We switched gears. We got a couple of youngins coming.
the millennials. I think they're the millennials.
Millennials or whatever. But I tell you, I just want to for a second talk about why would you say what he said as a world leader?
That's self-explanatory.
We got to put Putin out of power. If anything happens to him right now,
Right.
when you know there's turmoil in the Russian military, there's turmoil in the Kremlin, people are turning against Putin. Someone takes him out. Who's getting blamed for it?
The Biden.
Yeah, Biden is. So if you're watching tonight and you normally don't comment, I understand because Facebook and all their wonders watches that comment section. But please let us know you're watching because Facebook's pulling their shit again.
Just gives us the numbers that they want us to have.
Yeah, they pull numbers out their ass and say, here, this is how many people you had, you know.
So I wanted to check in with our three main leaders. These are the people who are actually leading our country. Biden, allegedly, Harris, Kuntala, and Pelosi.
Kuntala Harris.
Yes.
And so what we got is Walter Putin, a hooker, and a drunk bitch.
Right. And when you watch this, you're probably going to think that. So let's check in with Walter Putin, and what he does is completely completely opposite of what the White House says, and everybody that's involved. He decides he's going to tell people what a sanction really is. Here we go.
No one expected the sanctions to prevent
anything from happening. There has to show, this is going to take time. Without provocation, without justification.
The president believes that sanctions are intended to deter. And in order for them to work to deter, they have to be set up in a way where if Putin moves, then the costs are imposed.
But if you believe Putin has made up his mind, what leverage do you really have? Why not put those sanctions in place now?
The purpose of the sanctions has always been and continues to be deterrence. The deterrence effect of these sanctions is still a meaningful one, especially because, remember also, we still sincerely hope that there is a diplomatic path out of this moment.
The purpose of the sanctions, in the first instance, is to try to deter Russia from going to war. As soon as you trigger them, that deterrent is gone. And until the last minute, as long as we can try to bring a deterrent effect to this, we're going to try to do that.
Our hope is that Putin will decide to de-escalate, that he will feel the threat of the sanctions, what the impact will be on the Russian economy, on the Russian people, on the people who surround him. They are meant to have a deterrent impact, that he will feel the weight of being a pariah in the global community. The way we look at this, broadly speaking, and Dilip touched on this a little bit, is that we do see them as having a deterrent impact.
Okay, so everybody says it's a deterrent except Walter Putin.
Yeah, it's
now. Have you heard the passage of time?
No.
Okay, well, Kuntala is going to tell you all about the passage of time.
Vice President Kamala Harris being mocked once again for another doozy of a word salad statement. This time, Kamala was giving a speech about affordable internet access.
About the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time.
You got that?
That's what I feel like I'm at.
Well, that's good because listen.
I mean, seriously, dude, it's what she didn't describe passage of time.
Passage of time. That's the passage of time. I don't know why she didn't say passage of time, but now that you played that, let's do the last one where Nancy Pelosi, she reads a poem from Bono. Now listen to the very end where
is this before the vodka or after the vodka?
I think she's in the middle of vodka. She's probably got a half a bottle in her. So there we go.
Before I introduce them, I got this message this morning from Bono. And most of us, we're always, whether we're in Ireland or here or whatever it is, Bono has been a very Irish part of our lives. And he said this. He said, "Oh, St. Patrick, he drove out the snakes with his prayers, but that's not all it takes. For the smoke symbolizes an evil that arises and hides in your heart as it breaks. And the evil risen from the darkness that lives in some men, but in sorrow and fear, that's when saints can appear, to drive out those old snakes once again. And they struggle for us to be free from the psycho in this human family. Ireland's sorrow and pain is now the Ukraine, and St. Patrick's name is now Zelensky." About that. Well, you like that?
God.
There you go, Mark. They're so fucking stupid they couldn't even make the Benny Hill show.
Here's the thing. They a lot of people think that was a prank sent to her, and everything that she read was about them. The snake in the, all that.
Right. And we're sitting here, I'm playing circus music, Benny Hill theme song because Mark wanted to play it. And I thought, yeah, that's about right. It's not funny.
No,
it's really
these,
not
these
funny.
people are leading our country and making decisions, and now you can see what's going on.
They're not, like Biden yesterday making a comment about Putin. There's no world leader in any country should make any comment like that. You're no better than them when you start making comments. And then you got every single politician that's kissing his ass on public TV today, trying to justify what he meant.
Is she wearing a curtain?
Tommy, yeah, it looked like her bathrobe. Tommy, we'd like to know that answer because he's not capable. The vice president is too stupid, and the Speaker of the House is too drunk.
There you go. You got it.
I mean,
I don't know what to say.
I mean, you got to laugh, Joe. You got to laugh because it's so stupid. You got to laugh, but then you sit back and go, "Man, this is our country."
Right.
Every move they make affects us.
Right.
And we're gonna bring a couple kids in here in a minute, but before we do, every move they make affects us, and we got to pay for it. We're sending millions of dollars over to Ukraine, which I get the whole situation. And we haven't talked much about that war, and we're not going to talk a lot about it tonight, but Russia, if you were a country afraid of Russia,
you're not now.
How scared are you going to be now? They're pushing them back out of Kyiv.
Yes.
Kyiv.
Yep.
They're pushing them back out.
Yeah. And they're taking out their own commanders now.
Yeah.
They are shooting their own commanders.
And running them over with tanks.
Yes.
I mean, there's Russian higher ups in the Kremlin defecting from the country. It's like the Afghan war when the Soviet Union all fell apart. This is you're seeing the destruction, and the unfortunate part is Biden should have kept his mouth shut because that day's coming. I'm telling you right now, that day's coming where somebody's going to take Putin out. They're not going to let this go much longer and watch Russia go into, but it all comes back to the pictures we showed a month ago, Doug. He's meeting with his own top leaders, his own top people, and they're 30 feet down the table from him.
Right. How do you have a meeting like that? I don't know.
They got to get on these Bluetooth things that we got to talk to each other that's so far away,
Right. Why don't you just be in another room, be on a TV?
Yeah. So what we did is we have two kids. I call them kids because that's what they are. One's 22.
Young men.
One's my son, Chad Mize, and the other is Jake. And we're bringing them in because they're of that generation that we've been bitching about, Doug.
We want to know, and unfortunately, we got two that are very well
adapted,
educated on what's going on. But it's that generation that's taken over, and
so let's bring the monkeys in.
Here comes the monkeys. There's the monkeys. Chad Mize and Jake Clark.
I just want to start by saying there's a great significance in the passage of time.
Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Doug, I'll let you start out with questions to him because I'll ask mine later.
Yeah, you'll jump in. I only have to ask one, and then when you guys start talking, you go, oh, wait. So tell us, first of all, are you considered a millennial?
No.
What are you? What generation are you?
I'm an American, man. I care about America. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're an American, but are you a millennial? You're in a millennial generation, like me and Doug are in Generation X.
I think it's Gen Z if you really want to get technical, but we're definitely millennial would be like somewhere 5-6 years before our time.
Okay.
Like early 90s people are considered millennials, I think.
Okay, so what triggered you to start following what was going on? Because I'm sure that at some point you didn't really care. 16, 17, 18, whatever happens. 19.
Well, no, the kid at the regular screens had this shit jammed down his throat from the beginning of the time, I think. But whatever.
What was the thing that made you say, you know what, I got to watch what's going on? What this shouldn't be happening, or wow, this is great that this is happening?
Well, when you're trapped in high school, la la land, you're in this routine. You don't really consider the overwhelming impact of the world. So
Right.
when Trump comes around in 2016, you're seeing everybody talk about him, every outlet, social media, wall to wall, 24/7, and you can't not pay attention. And they're painting, you start paying attention then. And then when you really pay taxes and you really see on a paycheck how much money you make contributes to the overall tax that you make every year, what do they do with your taxes? And you really should pay attention to where all that money in your paycheck goes, regardless if you care or not. Everybody here who has a job pays taxes, at least, and you should care what the government does with them.
Okay.
Chad.
Right when the Hillary Trump ordeal was going on, like he said, the media it all gets shoved in your face. I mean, even at school we'd watch like a news thing every day, just get up to date. And on there every day, it's something new shoved in your face, and you start to really pay attention. And during that time, we're getting to the age of voting, so you start looking into it more and more, and you see stuff that really aggravates you, and you dive deeper and deeper in, and this is where you get really involved into it.
So when you were in school and they were talking about politics, were they one way or another, or were they really giving you facts and down the middle of the road, not putting in their own little comments?
Well,
depends who you're talking to.
Yeah, pretty much. On the news, that they show us, God forbid, it was CNN, Clinton News Network at the time. So it's all biased towards, leaning to her. So you don't get the straight facts, but then it, like you said, it depends on who you talk to. Teacher to teacher, it varies.
We had an English teacher who literally had a Clinton Kane sticker on her laptop and a campaign poster in her room. And we were on a DC trip, actually, our junior year, and this teacher went out of her way to yell at us because she thought we were doing something that was racist, when really we were just exercising our interest in the historical significance of the school trip.
Yeah, we were in Gettysburg, and Civil War, and we thought let's get some Confederate flag hats, why not? It'd be funny. So we got nobody cared because it's us, they don't care.
I believe we have the picture somewhere.
There was one teacher that threw the hissy fit, and the vice principal comes over and he's like, yeah, I don't want to do this, but because she's throwing a big deal about it, you guys just take them off. Nobody cared but her. But it's like, I don't get it. And then was it Tammy in there? You're right. We are being taxed more than the rich in ways, but the rich also make up, was it about 40 or 45% of
the rich actually pay their taxes.
Yeah.
Trust me. They pay immense amounts of taxes. Anybody who says the rich doesn't pay their fair share, that's an overstated lie. I mean, they do pay their taxes. You should see the tax rate they pay. It's insane.
There you go, Doug. Keep going.
Okay. So when you were watching TV in school, were they explaining to you that, was the teacher neutral and saying, hey, listen, this is CNN, they seem to lean this way, this is Fox, they seem to lean this way, and staying neutral? Or were they basically trying to say, Clinton's a great candidate or Trump's a great candidate? Which way did it go? Or did they even get involved? Did you just watch TV?
They focused more on the angle of how Trump, as a political figure, as something who could potentially be president, they made a big deal about his overall temperament, saying that he's racist, he's homophobe, he hates women, all the usual talking points of the Democratic Party. They were trying to instill, they're trying to appeal to our young, innocent emotions, and at an early age, they're trying to warp your globalist view of the world. And they're just kind of painting it in a negative way, the fact that you could have an opposing opinion that isn't Democrat.
Okay, so your school kind of painted him in a darker side. You're wearing a "Make America Great" hat, so you obviously. How did you come to say, okay, well, what you're saying is wrong, and Trump's the right guy?
Well, I'm not a traditional Republican. Okay, I'm not necessarily a religious person. And I feel like a lot of the old prominent Republicans, they do so on the basis of their old Christian like faith, and that's cool. I disagree with the Republican Party in lots of ways, but when it comes to like America and common sense and national security, border security, and I like more cash in my wallet, I vote Republican every time.
Are you a registered Republican?
100%.
Okay. Well, some people on here are not.
Well, you should consider giving us a try. Turn to the dark side. Are you sick and tired of paying $80 a fucking fill up?
Okay.
I'm registered still Democrat, but I don't vote Democrat.
Don't vote Democrat.
And you know, here's the thing. I know what side Chad's mother was on for a long time too, and so was I. And I can tell you, we don't talk a lot, but she's a lot of the Democrats I know from the day are flipped.
Mm-hmm. They're losing their face.
There's some you know or not.
Well, I can tell you there is, but there's a lot, but they ain't coming out and talking about it right now, Doug. But you know, the thing of it is let's just get into it for a minute. But Obama, I voted for him twice, and I know I'm gonna catch shit over on that right side. But after I voted for him in his second term, I was like, probably what a lot of people have voted for Biden. What the hell did I do?
Right.
But I couldn't stand Mitt Romney. Now, when it come to Hillary Clinton, there's no way I'd have voted for Mickey Mouse before I'd have voted for her. You know, and I think that's where the switch come with a lot of the Democrats. Obama started some shit he shouldn't have started in the second term.
He's the airstrike.
And then, you know, we're all worried.
He's the airstrike king too. A lot of people say Republicans are the war group, but the Democrats have a lot more airstrikes and war under their belt.
He drone strike killed so many like civilians in Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan over his 2-term presidency. No one talks about it because he's this super great positive figure in American society. But yeah, man, he's done some dirty shit for sure. The cages, locking children up in cages and shit. That was Obama.
So we have young people realize that, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Lowry, oh my God, oh man, you should have get on me during them times. But anyways, when Hillary Clinton ran for office is when I think you seen the big switch of a lot of the Democrats said, no, this ain't gonna happen.
And I think the 30,000 plus emails had a big deal with that as well.
Oh, I don't know. We didn't see him. Remember?
Yeah, someday maybe we'll see him.
They were whitewashed.
Doug, you remember shit more than me, so we were talking about a lot of stuff before we come on the show. What other stuff? I know you got some questions.
Yes. So you get out of school and you start voting and living life large. So tell me what's changed between then and now that you can directly relate back to the government.
We've just experienced 4 years. We graduated high school in 2017. That's roughly 5 years ago. I remember I had only known President Obama my entire life in recent memory, right? So we get 4 years of Trump, a completely polarizing opposite figure. Not only do we have the greatest economy in the world, but people my age and above, we actually have a newfound source of patriotism. And I feel like we've actually past 4 years, we've gotten back to what America really essentially was meant to be. And now we've had a year with the other side in power. And all I can do is just contrast 4 years of prosperity, great economy, great wages. With 1 year, they've literally managed to destroy every fabric of our society. How much longer can we let this go on?
Okay.
You don't even have to have 3 brain cells to know that it's worse today than it was a year ago.
2 years ago, in a small town in Wisconsin, gas was 99 cents a gallon. 99 cents. Here in Akron, where we are, I think it was down to $1.63. I'd seen a photo that I took about 2 years ago. It was $1.63. It's $4.19 here now, and it's been on the rise ever since Biden took the office. And it's like you see stuff like this, and you gotta wonder, like, how long is everybody gonna put up with it before?
Okay, see, that's where I'm going with this. So, how long are we going to put up with it? I'll ask you because
you're the generation coming up.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything about it. I can write letters and emails. I'm not doing anything more than that. What's your generation doing?
It's a very, very steep hill to climb, man. It's a very steep hill.
Well, especially with only 15%, as you said earlier, 15% of your age group is really involved in watching this and trying to do something about it. So we're in trouble with your
I don't
group.
want to generalize my age group too much, but somewhere, somehow, parenting in the last couple decades has greatly declined. Kids are less disciplined. Kids are more sensitive.
Everybody gets a first place trophy. You know,
People
they're
don't
becoming
understand.
more entitled and less, working class, and they get things handed to them. So they have this massive sense of entitlement of, now the government should owe me, because I'm alive. And they see, figureheads like Biden and Bernie Sanders, these clowns that promise them all this great, wonderful stuff, but they don't read the fine print 1,000 pages into the bill that says you're going to pay greatly for it.
Let me ask a question, and I'll ask Chad first. When you're growing up, if you disrespected somebody, talked back, or whatever, whether your mom's here, what happened?
You get disciplined. And it wasn't a timeout for 30 minutes, whatever, a little tiny slap on the wrist, you get disciplined.
You did that, Chris? Little tiny slap on the
One
wrist.
time I had to really, and he was actually out of high school, man. But Jake, I already know the answer to that. What would happen if you
name it,
talk
man?
back, mouthed off, disrespect?
You name it, man.
Get your ass whooped.
Get my ass whooped, get my fucking ear chatted off, I get my car keys taken away, phone taken away, anything I cared about, gone. And it made me realize real quick, you got to behave, present yourself in a respectable manner, and talk intelligently.
Hey, David, you might be right there. You might.
Yeah, you're probably right. But the problem is this. You got two kids on here, and I'm calling you kids because you always be kids to me. You got two young men on here that are paying attention. You guys are paying attention. Chad sends me messages all the time, back and forth about politics and what's going on. But what the hell are, and I know there's others like you, what the hell are you guys going to do to get this word out to this generation? Listen, you guys are the generation that's taking care of us. I'm fucking scared. I'm scared. I cared about, when I was your age, I cared about my parents, grandparents, the other people, that were older. I cared about what was going to happen. The problem I see now, and I'm not saying you two, so don't get all butthurt offended, but the problem, kids your age don't really give a shit about Social Security. They don't care about, the prices of prescriptions, gas costs, everything else for our elderly. They care about, well, McDonald's is paying us $15 an hour now. Look what we're getting. But yet they're still living, some of them living with their mom, dads, whatever. Like you said, Jake, the trust fund to live on. What about the elderly people that are on a fixed income with Social Security? And we bring this up all the time, Doug. They're set. Government says we gave them an 8% raise, but they charge 10% more for the Medicare.
Right.
They didn't get a raise. They can't do shit. They got to start making decisions on whether they buy food this week, prescriptions, or pay the heating bill. What are you guys and what's your generation going to do to get these kids' shit together and start realizing we got to pay attention to this instead of quit saying I'm getting a stimulus check or I'm getting this or they're giving me that or they're giving me that. And what do I care? It's not affecting me right now. I got more money per hour. And I understand it's nice to have more money per hour. Don't get me wrong, but
It raises prices.
Yeah.
And trickle-down economics is a concept on the left that apparently doesn't exist.
Well, it was a Reagan.
It's been proven, and I mean, even with the Ukraine war, you can see it now with the fertilizer. For some reason, they're one of the main suppliers of fertilizer, and now we're going to have a giant price hike, increase, and we're going to have a food shortage now.
We've already got a food shortage. What it used to cost you guys, you kids down in that house now, apartment last year, what it used to cost you when you got your groceries, is it doubled yet?
Oh yeah, it's double. $200 you can spend at the store, it'll get you stuff that a few years ago be like $75.
So
that's where I was going with it, Cal. So there's 15 an hour, and these raises that you guys got at your age,
that you all lobbied for.
That kid, not saying you two, but your generation,
that generation, the 20, 30 somethings,
the 20 and 30s, all loved them for and everything. How's that fucking working out for them now? Because now we're, when they were making 10 an hour, they were paying $2 a gallon of gas and going to the grocery store and buying a cart full for $120. Now they're paying $4 a gallon, and that same cart costs about $240. So this is what I mean. There's no justification to the pay raises. And a whole bunch of people our age were saying, when they were going after that, Doug, remember we were all saying, yeah, and a Big Mac meal is going to cost you fucking $11. So guess where the Big Mac meal is right now?
It's what, like $8.95 or something?
Get it and upgrade to a large, and you're paying almost $11.
Yeah.
So, Jake, did you work through the COVID, or were you off?
I worked through COVID the entire time.
Okay.
I was one of the lucky people who was involved in an essential business, and I was able to make money, so I'm thankful for that.
Did you get a stimulus check?
I didn't get a stimulus check until I did my taxes in 2021. There was a discrepancy between me and the IRS, and the address they had on file wasn't recent, so I was late to the party. I didn't get my Biden bucks until last year.
And Chad, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys are okay with that?
Hey man, Biden, he personally paid for my entire car getting fixed, so thanks, man.
Okay.
At least you did something for me.
Short term, okay, but long term, when you get the taxes back,
But he's dicking me in the ass with the gas prices now, so everything evens out.
Okay, so Chris, what did we say? Newborn coming into this world is
17,000.
So if you have a child anytime here in the next few years, that child is already $17,000 in debt to the government.
100%.
Yeah, you two right there are sitting there got 17,000. Actually, you inherited more of that because stimulus checks before that put more. You probably guys through the pandemic inherited about $28,000 in debt.
Damn right.
So, who would you two here's the question, Doug. It ain't far off. 24 is the new election year. So who would you two, Jake, you first, what two would you like to see run for president and vice president on the Republican side?
All right, let's look at Trump Pence, the gold classic Trump Pence. Now, clearly there's some problems with Pence. There's some inner drama going on with that. We know he's not going to be on the ticket. So if I was Trump politically, I want Trump and DeSantis as vice president. But the people in Florida would probably be sad to lose him. But I feel like if you want to appeal to all the Republicans, the GOP has a massive marketing problem right now. I have tons of gripes with the GOP and how they market themselves to voters. And I feel like the younger generation is left behind because GOP really doesn't work that hard to appeal to younger generations. They really don't. I feel like once they fix that problem, if they want to run Trump and DeSantis, they can appeal largely to our group a lot more. But There's like big fucking mountain to climb in terms of that. People our age have this predetermined hate and anguish towards anything that's conservative whatsoever.
Who's your pick for president?
Trump, 100%.
Who's vice president?
DeSantis.
Chad?
Same. Although I know DeSantis would never do it because he's doing Florida and they love him there. That would be a power duo.
Well, you got one name that I'd pick. I don't think Trump's going to run.
I don't think so either.
100%.
He has rallies. He's having
Come
rallies
on.
right now.
He's having rallies for the Republicans. He's building that momentum. He's going to put his weight with somebody, but he's
gonna put his weight with somebody, but I don't think he's gonna run. And I think DeSantis will run for president.
He's gonna vet.
Hold his hand.
Yep.
I think Trump will hold his hand through the whole thing.
Yep.
DeSantis will run. And vice president, I don't know. I'm still with Candace Owens.
Candace Owens?
I love Candace Owens.
I like her too. I mean, she's got a lot to offer.
So I told you not to swear before you come on the show. And now your mom's watching. I'm sure you're gonna get a call afterwards. Yeah. What are you swearing like that for? I'm gonna call her up. I told him not to swear.
All right. So both of you kind of brought this up earlier, and we'll hit it now. Home Depot is woke, and they want unpacking privileges. Now, how did you guys get involved in that? I know you don't work for them, but what brought that to your attention?
Well, I seen a thing about it. I follow a few different pages, and they put a thing about Home Depot being woke in there. Then I watched a few other videos of it. But the whole thing, really, I don't know. It's the white privilege pamphlet, I'm gonna call it, and it's just obnoxious.
Doug, run our disclaimer.
Oh crap!
Doug, run our disclaimer. Hold on, guys. Lord forbid somebody will jump on. Yeah, white supremacy show.
Right.
Go ahead, guys.
Sorry about that.
None of that, but it's the fact of there's a thing on there. It states if you believe that the police are going to protect you, you have white privilege.
Correct. You want to read it? You want to read them all? Do you have them?
I don't have them. No. Do you have it?
Yes.
All right.
You read that. That was straight on. This is Home Depot. Now and then I have to defend Home Depot after we talk about all this. But if while growing up, college was an expectation of you, not a dream, you have class privilege. Mm-hmm. If you can expect time off from work to celebrate your religious holidays, you have Christian privilege. If you can use public bathrooms without stares, fear, or anxiety, you have cisgender privilege.
Whatever that means. You're scared to go to the bathroom.
We're gonna talk about a school later that is having a whole full out argument because they want ladies to be able to go into the gentleman's locker room and vice versa. And if they want, like a privacy curtain, they can have that.
All right.
Go on. Privacy curtain, that's something.
Yes. If you don't have to worry about how to get into a store, you have able-bodied privilege. If you don't have to explain that your spouse is of the same gender, you have heterosexual privilege. And then you can check off your privileges that you have, and they want you to leave all that at the door.
They can kiss my ass.
Now, before they do that, just on the side of Home Depot, I did read it. This is allegedly out of Canada, not the U.S.
Yeah,
it's one thing.
Alberta.
Two is it looks like it was hung on a like a bulletin board where most people don't read it, so it wasn't an assignment that they gave out for everybody to check off your privileges and send them back in so they can see what's going on. It's all about racism and privilege.
It's just something to drive us further apart. You have this idea of they don't want the racism anymore. They don't want to be separated, but then they force ideas like this down your throat and just cause more division.
What kids our age don't understand about the left liberalism, all their ideas on paper sound glorious, wonderful, like you're in some fantasy utopia. But when you actually implement realistically into society their policies, the past year is evidence enough alone to tell you what it does. It's disgusting, man. People need to wake up. Everything that they accuse other people of doing, they do themselves. They're the ones who cause the racism.
Chad, what did you tell me today about Joe Biden?
What's that?
What'd you tell me today about Joe Biden?
Oh God, I can't. Well, which part?
Well, on racism and.
Oh yeah, it's like we're just gonna blow off his past of being in the Senate for an eternity and voting for segregation. He's a racist. It's been proven in the Senate by his track record. But it's like we just blow it off because he's the golden child Joe Biden of the Democratic Party. They get away with hair on his legs, and he smells little girls' hair, and he massages wives' shoulders. But he gets away with it because he's Joe Biden. He's on the left, and he's their golden puppet.
I like Greg Miller's comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was good. So
we'd had a pregnancy problem in my day.
Population boom. So it'd be the privacy curtain generation.
Yeah.
So if you guys went into the locker room and this female follows you in because she's now identifying as a male,
Man.
and she goes behind her privacy curtain, would you have an issue?
100%. I'm going to apply the same logic you apply to me. So I got a major issue with that.
Oh, what's that?
She's invading my
going to the women's locker room.
Why would you go into the...
If you have opposite genitalia other than what's posted on the sign on the wall, you should not be able to enter. That's just common sense logic in my personal opinion.
We talk about this probably every show about this whole everybody's woke now. So there's bathrooms for the ones that are non-binary. The schools are needing to put those in now.
Taxpayer dollars pay for those transgender bathrooms, by the way, to accommodate 0.1% of the population. That's how much money is being used to.
Did you vote against it?
Yeah.
It wasn't on the ballot.
It's dumb. Well, it should be on the ballot so people can realize how stupid it is.
What I'm saying is
he voted for Trump, so yeah, he voted against it.
What I'm saying is that these school districts are doing things. They don't care what you have to say about it. Hell, they're throwing people out of meetings.
So get this, the vast majority of kids our age, right? Where do they most commonly collectively gather? College campuses and universities, okay? For decades and decades and decades, these giant public universities, you name it, Ohio State, wherever the hell, they're all giant liberal brainwashing think tanks. They get kids in there and they fucking fuel their asses with their ideology.
Oh, your mom's watching, remember.
Oh, she won't care too much, trust me.
All right.
Anyway,
but it's true. Most professors in colleges tend to be liberal leaning, and they cut, pieces out of what they're teaching to force their own narrative. And, there's been people that write pages and don't agree with, their theories or logic, and they bump them down a grade. Didn't you had to redo?
I wrote a gun control essay my senior year in Mrs. Kukai's class. I basically cited the fact that Chicago is one of the most dangerous crime-populated cities in all of America, has the strictest gun laws, but yet has the highest murder rate. So I was basically pointing out the hypocrisy of gun control. She gave me a C- because she didn't agree with my political opinion. Whatever. She said I didn't provide enough evidence. I made it a point to cite sources. Every site I sources was not Fox News. I made sure to not include Fox News ever in any of my citation pages.
What did you do about it?
What's that?
What did you do about it?
I went to the principal and he basically laughed at me because Well, you tell him about Mr. Manafo. He likes the.
Oh, he has a thing.
Yeah.
A little crush.
Just throw them out there.
He likes
What?
little crushes
Yeah.
and cuddle sessions with all the teachers. So he's on their side already. So I'm not going to talk to Manafo
But
about nothing.
that's the same thing. It applies to the college universities because that was a college course. But it applies to them too because they're all the same way. They all follow the same narrative. If you take it to the higher ups, they're going to laugh in your face because you're the stupid white supremacist Republican that doesn't agree with, their things. I've been seeing videos over the past couple of weeks of GOP Republican speakers that go to college universities and speak in the classrooms. And there's people, they don't let them speak, and they just scream that they're Nazis at the top of their lungs, and they throw little temper tantrums.
Okay, would you be scarred mentally if a female walked into the locker room, got behind her curtain?
100%. Yes, without a doubt.
If we did
But it doesn't matter. Here's the point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it affects you because there's not enough people standing up on your side because exactly what you guys are saying, then we're called racist and everything else. Homophobias and
Kids our age don't care about personal independence. They care about fitting in their little social hierarchies. That's the only thing they're concerned with. They don't care about individualism at all.
Social media has made it a million times worse.
The trend our days is to be progressive, to be woke. They're hopping on the trend because they think that's what's socially acceptable. And, they're labeled Nazi, racist, fascist if they're not on that side of the spectrum.
Shock therapy. Holy cow.
What's that?
I think that went out a while ago.
Yeah, that went out a while ago.
Question for you guys from Joe. How did you guys do in debate class?
I actually took quite a few political courses in my college experience, and I did all right. As long as you present your side with facts from an unbiased source, you really can't argue that. I use the FBI crime statistics website. Anytime it tries to argue gun control with me, I show them the FBI crime statistics website by city and show them how gun control is completely freaking useless. Just one of my areas of concern. I care a lot about gun control and how it's super useless. And
I'll be honest with you, Jake. You missed your calling. You should run for some kind of political office.
There's still time. I'm 20.
I'm just saying.
There's time.
Go ahead, Doug.
You got to protect your 2030 songs because they're just not on board. So
they're going to be on board unless they want to stop paying for gas. Seriously, even if you're a total registered Democrat, left wing, you have a Bernie Sanders poster in your room. Do you personally enjoy paying $80 a fill up for gas? Oh, but I'm saving the polar bears in Antarctica. No, that's bullshit. You care about your checking account as much as any tax-paying American does. You should care about your politicians and how their policies influence the money you have. And this gas crap could be fixed in a day. Fixed in a day.
How?
American independence and energy. We were energy dominant the past 3 years. Instead of buying Russia oil, we were producing it on American soil, selling it to all of our allies. Us buying the Russian oil, we are single-handedly funding the Ukrainian invasion. Russia's number one source of income is fuel, I'm pretty sure. If you just stop buying their shit, maybe they wouldn't have as much crap to deal with.
Yeah, we need to drill. Biden's first day in office, he cut drilling in the United States.
He cut the pipeline first.
Well, yeah, but he cut the drilling as well. We were energy independent for the first time since 1957 in 2019.
Cal Krebs said it last week or 2 weeks ago when I got all wound up, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
In 8 months, we're 8 months away from completing the Keystone XL. The Keystone pipeline's completed. Keystone XL's they call it a double barrel, basically a double barrel line. We're 8 months away from completing that. If Biden would sign it and everybody'd sign off, and Cal Krebs and Greg Miller, they're in the construction industry, and Mike Rutherford too, I guarantee they'd double up, and by the time that Keystone pipeline would be done would take half the time, 4 months. Now, if you two listen to Biden in his State of the Union speech, one thing he said that you two should have caught was the way to cripple the Russian economy was to shut down their pipeline, the Nord Stream pipeline that Trump had shut down. Remember, Doug? Trump had sanctions on it. Biden lifted the sanctions and agreed to let them continue. He said, shut down the Nord Stream pipeline will cripple the economy. That should have struck home to every American that lives in the United States. And that should have struck home because the first thing he did was shut down one of our major pipelines in construction. So what was he trying to do? The second thing you two and your generation should look at, they tried the gun bill, which is still sitting up at the House. And you guys better pay attention at your age because sooner or later, with everything going on, they're going to try to push that through. That gun bill restricts your guns to a way you can't even imagine. But yet turns around and praises the Ukrainian citizens for pulling out their assault rifles and everything else and fighting off. So your generation needs to quit worrying about, and I'm not talking you two, needs to quit worrying about the stimulus check, free phone, wages, and this, that, and the other, and start worrying about what they're doing in Congress and Senate and what the White House is doing. Because if you listen to him talk and listen to this side talk, they'll say stupid shit like, you know, we need to shut the pipelines down, we need gun control, and then turn around and say the way to cripple them is shut the pipeline down and praise them for having guns to fight off. Why do they want to take our guns? Why do they want to, you know, that's what the generation should be worried about. And you guys do, don't get me wrong, because Chad chirps in my ear about the gun control shit too and stuff. So other than that, Doug, you got anything else for these two young ones? As Joe Pesci called them down in Alabama. And that
we'll let you guys have the last word here.
Listen, man, I'm an optimist. I hope to God that people can see through the bullshit that's going on, and people with real, genuine hearts will step up and realize when enough is enough, and we'll get these bastards out of here in 2022 and 2024 beyond.
Yep, just looking forward to the midterm.
You had your chance. Liberalism is clearly not in the cards for American life. It isn't. Just look at what's happened the past year. Vote against it. All of it needs to end now.
Utes, that's what it was, Utes. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. We'll have you again. We'll narrow down the subject a little bit, and we'll have you on just a certain topic.
All right. Thank you for having us on, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Later.
Yep.
The reason why people we decided to have them come on is we haven't listen. Pretty much everybody watches this is middle age or and two, me and Doug have been pretty hard on the younger generation, which we have, and we just wanted to show that not every youth, that was what it's youths, not every young person thinks the way that we're portraying. Right. The majority of them do.
So they're in the same situation we are. Like like I said, you go to your neighbor, they're not going to know what's going on. They're gonna know the basic thing. Yeah, there's a war going on. I think it's over in Russia. Doesn't affect me. And I think these guys, man, oh man, they got their work cut out for them too. Once they get into where they're leading the country,
they know that it's going to affect them down the road. It's going to affect them majorly.
And before we got on, we were talking to them, and Jake said about 15% of his age group, 20, 30 somethings, are really involved in what's going on. The rest of them
don't care.
Don't care. They go to work, they come home, they try to make a living.
And that's why we did it, Robbie, is you know, we were kind of laughing after the show last week, Doug. Man, we're a doom and gloom show, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of doom and gloom. People don't even, you know, you keep up with shit and still shit slides by.
There's so much that we would have an all-day show if we captured everything going on, and we're trying to capture the stuff that is really meaningful to the group that's on here. You know, like the tuck.
There is hope, though. You know, there is kids out there where there's hope that, and you know, I don't try to persuade Chad what party to be in or who to vote for or not.
Oh,
but
come on.
I really don't. You know, it's his choice. But you know, if he asks me, I'll tell him. But you know, he keeps up with it pretty good. I mean, when they sent the ballistic missiles, Iran sent the ballistic missiles. Chad was the one that texted me. Remember, I said, "Hey, you hear anything?"
Right.
And Chad just texted me. So you know, I know they keep up on it, and that's good. They need to. They need to. So yeah, no shit, huh, Dave? There's times I wonder though.
Our hashtag is C&D No Bull Show. Putting it in chat. So you know how it's done. But you'll get you can win a free pizza.
Large pizza, Pepsi product. And I tell you what, Dean sent me a picture of.
I wanted you to send that over on
I did.
Facebook. Did you? On Facebook?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I sent it to you over in chat. We were talking.
All right, let me.
Yeah. Oh my God, them look good.
Let me bring it up here. Save. So put it in there. C&D No Bull Show. If you're far away, you can still win and give it to a good cause.
Yeah, good cause. I tell you what, Big D's Pizza, we can't thank them enough. Dean Henry and his bunch over there. We don't just praise him because he does this. We praise him because it is good food too. Real good food. And he does a lot for our shows here, and he does a lot for racing. He's just a good guy. So hashtag Tommy.
Hashtag. Okay, desktop.
So you know, it's nice. Like I say, it's nice. There's been nobody harder on the younger generation than this show, Doug.
Right, I agree.
And we've really railed them. But it's nice to show that you know you got a couple. You got kids out there that there. Look at that, them ribs. Oh my God.
Are you hungry?
We might have to drive the clock.
Now,
What time you close, Dean? But you know, it's just nice to see that, and we wanted to do that to show you guys that it's nice.
Yeah, and we're going to narrow it down. Like this was just kind of general, kind of get an idea, but we're going to come up with some topics where we'll focus on that topic
and have them back on.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know that today. Well, the Home Depot thing.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me see if I can get the link in here for that, so you can read it for yourself if you'd like.
Yeah, it's everything we say, and I just want to say this again. We've said it before. Everything that we talk about, like Home Depot and stuff, it's not fabricated. It's straight out fact, because you know we joke around about Facebook messing with us and shit. We don't give them a legit reason to mess with us, and if we fabricate anything like that, it's you know you can't do that. You know,
right?
We didn't say it; they said it.
I think use the second one because I think the first one got cut off.
Yeah. So, Doug, what's your next topic?
Well, this one Well, first of all, let's talk about this. Ohio has decided that, well, there's a bill in there to move the election to June 28th.
June 28th.
June 28th. It is.
What if they voted down? Is Dwayne going to kick everybody's ass too, like he was Blastone's?
I don't know.
I would say there's one I wish they'd walk back behind the woodshed, see him talk like that without a
Right,
security.
come on outside here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
What a joke. $100 million, people. If you had a thought in your head of voting for Mike DeWine, $100 million went back to the federal government, and we preached about it enough, I know, that he did not use COVID relief when all them businesses went under. He didn't use $100 million.
So I'm just going to tell you that I just got information that June 28th is LBGQ all that day.
ABC.
Yeah, we can celebrate it all together.
And we can vote and go celebrate.
Vote. They'll be out there in their rainbows.
Rainbows. So we get a I voted sticker and a rainbow flag underneath it.
Right. So it'd be I voted and I support. Yeah. Now, speaking of support, we don't have a lot of support in Ohio. We have 20
stick shift training.
Oh no. Where's that at?
Chaz Clark wrote stick shift training. He's talking about transmission. Bye.
See you in 3 days.
Start collecting commissary money. But anyways, Hunter Biden's laptop is real and the big man is in trouble. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. They're thinking that he's going to go to jail for Joe Biden.
But embezzlement, isn't it? Didn't he? Isn't one of the things in Ukraine was embezzlement?
Right.
That's been put on hold. That's fact, Facebook.
Russia.
So that's fact. So that's all been put on hold. They got a few other things to tend to right now. Like Putin.
Right.
All right, Doug.
Yeah, so June 28th, you can celebrate lots of things on that day.
Yeah.
You can vote, and you can throw your support behind the
LGB, ABC, elemental P 567. 867-530. There you go. Whatever that is. I ain't reading it off.
LGBTQ2SIA plus. What's wrong with that?
What was wrong with LGBT?
True.
Yeah, we get the point.
All right, let's see.
Transsexuals not allowed to be called tranny. We
No.
know that for no, but the government can have queer wrote up in their documents.
Right. Right.
All
right. So this one here is gonna flip you out. Where do I start with this?
At the beginning.
At the beginning. Okay, I'll try. Let's see. This is actually a hospital, not a school. This is a hospital. Oregon University affiliated Children's Hospital displays safe tucking guide.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
Yeah. Now you say Children's Hospital. I'm going to assume tucking the children in at night.
Right, right. That's not what it means.
Are you shitting me?
No.
That's what they're teaching?
There's a handout at the Children's Hospital that they say that's safe tucking. It's intended for all ages, which includes children. and it makes the handout shows individuals how to make the genital area look smoother and flatter. It states that tucking is moving your junk out of the way. Now you can do that method, and there's a taping method as well.
You just chased the producer right out of the room. She
What?
could hear you.
She did?
She looked at the picture and ran out of the room when you were saying. Unbelievable. So we're of all ages, right?
Of all ages. Well, yeah, all ages.
You got to tuck the stick shift.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait till they drop before you can tuck them.
Dave Lowry said it best.
Take
dog and get it neutered, get the nuts cut off him. He's still a male dog.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Right.
You know, you guys that all believe in the transgender and all that shit, well, go get a bowl and see how it melts.
So
you might get some milk, but it ain't going to be the kind you want.
Now, the reason that they're doing this is because tucking can reduce any concerns you have about your body, how your clothes fit, how safe you feel in public, and people of all genders can tuck.
I got a question though. I have a question, and you're going to laugh at me because if I don't ask this question, I end up flipping out. But isn't medically somehow, wouldn't that hurt or damage some things down there?
Well, this is from the hospital, and they say it's safe. Can we get somebody to try that, please?
Yeah, it's safe. Yeah. Do I have any volunteers?
Because you come on.
It's safe. It's safe till you get somebody like Ellie McPherson, or I'm showing my time now, Cindy Crawford to walk by. Then what? Is that going to restrict that? They're going to be walking all crooked. Yeah, see, you're still a guy, you dumb son of a bitch. You know, that thing's moving around down there because you thought they were hot, which means, you know, you better change your mind.
So I say that if you were a papa, you're not going to teach your kids to tuck. I think that's the stupidest thing in the world.
Tammy's on the shock treatments tonight. Shock treatments. Listen to proof. You know, this is the way we're going now, and it's acceptable now. You know, listen. Let me rephrase that real quick, Doug. You want to be what you want to be. That's fine. I mean, it's your business, but
I see David uses duct tape. See,
duct tape works the best. Till you got to take it off. But you know, you want to be gay, be gay. You want to be trans, whatever. It's your business. It's your business. I've come that far along in my life, Doug, that, you know, 30 years ago, I wasn't accepting it. Now I don't care. But where I start to care is when you start seeing stuff up like this in public and they start jamming it down your throat that I have to accept. I don't have to accept jack shit. They don't accept the fact that I might think it's wrong, Doug. Now, all of a sudden, I'm called a homophobiac or this, that, or the other. Why do I have to accept it?
There's a group for that in Ohio.
Why do I have to accept it, though? That's my question.
A hate group.
Well, I don't believe in hate groups. All I'm saying is why do I have to accept it?
You don't have to accept it. They, like, for example, this is just
it all leads into the same shit, though. I mean, come on. You know, if the group's marching on June 28th, Sandusky has that parade, I believe, still. And
that parade. Okay.
For Gay Pride Week or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So if I'm somewhere at a gas station, hey, Chris, you going down to the Gay Pride Parade or Gay Pride Week? Or no, I don't believe in that. Someone hears that, and all of a sudden I'm I'm the asshole that they're gonna. Well, what do you mean? I got a right. You're right. You have a right to do that. You have a right to do that. I don't need it pushed down my throat. I don't need it pushed down my throat.
There you go, Mark. So you can do some safe tucking. Make sure you're safe. We don't want you to come out there and start announcing. Hello.
No bulges, please. Yeah, Dave's right. Move off this before I really melt down.
Let's give away pizza.
All right. Hashtag C&D no bull. What is it?
C&D no bull show.
All right. Hashtag C&D no bull show. You ready? How many have we got in there?
We got 12 in there, but 2 of them are us.
Oh.
Did you want this this handout so you could review it later tonight?
No. Go ahead. Spin the wheel.
I gotta find it. Where's it at? There it is. All right. Ready?
Yep.
There we go. No sound yet.
Randy Feekins.
Randy Feekins, congratulations.
Clyde, Ohio. Big D's Pizza.
Mark was not asking for it for him to tuck. It was Christy was asking. She's a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We got you. Got you covered there, Mark. Randy Feekins, congratulations on a big win tonight.
Big D's Pizza, Pepsi product. Randy, you live close enough. You can drive over there and get it. Nope, give it to the fire station. There you go.
Oh wow. Okay, he was a
retired fireman.
Yeah.
Yep, retired from fire department.
Thanks.
Thank you, Randy.
All right, what else?
Retired fireman to active fireman. We got a lot of. Dave Lowry was a fireman for years, volunteer. Berlin Heights. So.
No.
All right, Doug, move on because
now,
I'm done talking about tummy tucks.
It wasn't a tummy tuck. So anyhow, if you're wondering what the outside world is thinking about us, I got to play this. It's a little bit long, but I got to play it. And I want you to listen to some of the comments they say. And they really pay a lot of, they really think the United States is the greatest place. And they say that. They can't understand why we vote for the oxygenation era. Why we vote like that. They said, most countries, they vote in young people, but not the U.S. You got to be 80 something to get in there. But
dementia like Biden.
Yeah, so they let's see where that is at.
Well, it just still takes me right back to when we talked to that girl from Diana's that night.
Yeah, talk about that. We probably got new people.
Well, what is it? India? Where was she from? India, or where was that at? I can't remember. It was a foreign country.
Right.
She was over on a work visa, and we asked her, "What do you think about Donald Trump?" And the face she made is what I remember. It was like a horrified face. Remember?
Yes.
Oh no, I don't want to talk. What do you mean?
Right.
We're like, and of course, right away, Doug ain't gonna let it go. Once someone said, "Oh no," with that look, And she went on to say, in her country, if you talked about the politicians, the leaders, and it was in any negativity at all, or you don't agree with them, remember that? She said, you'd be dragged off to jail right now. No questions asked.
Yes.
They will come get you and drag you off. She goes, so I don't talk. And we're like, you're in the United States. You can talk about Donald Trump all you want.
Right. That's the question we want. Your country?
We're not talking about your leaders.
Right.
We're talking about Donald Trump. And she loosened up, and you know, she started talking
She
a
was
little.
very general though. She was like,
Yeah.
they like him. Yeah, he's nice. He's doing a good job.
She could have hated him
But I
and
don't think
not
so.
liked him, and she would have said he's doing a good job. You know, but that she was over on a work visa. I don't know, or college or something she was going to, and she was working at Diana's as a waitress, and she would not. She left that. She didn't come back much after that. You know.
And I think our generation, we understand that, but like, I don't know, for example, Jake and Chad, I don't know if
they would get that.
Understand that they have freedoms that they never knew didn't exist.
And this girl was around their age right now, and this was 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago that we went in, and it was in 2019, I think, because it was right before the pandemic and we couldn't go in no more the next year. But, you know, you grow up with freedoms through high school and, you know, school and everything. You get out here in your 20s and you don't, you know, you come across someone like that, it opens your eyes.
Right. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
I wanted to say India, but I don't think that was it. Indonesia, maybe, or somewhere like that. I can't remember.
Somewhere where they're not allowed to talk about their.
Yeah, where there's pretty far communism.
I mean, she was taken back when I said, "Whoa, what do you mean?" When I asked her, "What country think of Donald Trump?" Ooh,
the look on her face said it all, though.
Yeah,
the look on her face was. Oh,
we're playing it anyhow. We're playing it anyhow. Oh, phones are going off. Don't you play it? All right, here we go. Hopefully, it plays this for you.
Talking about cheap taglines, a woman who excels at them and is one of the leading Democrats, Nancy Pelosi. My goodness, let's have a listen to the Speaker of the House.
But they know that we can't go there. Putin is trying to bait the trap so that we go in, and that's could be the beginning of World War III. Putin totally irresponsible, using weapons that are not allowed under the Geneva Convention. Putin, who threatens use of chemical weapons, nuclear, and the rest. So they know that we can't, but it's the ask. Now, he was this morning more. If we can't have a no-fly zone, let us have our own.
Now, we've all noted Biden's cognitive decline, but what in God's name is happening with Nancy?
It's no better, is it, Rita? It's really worrying. American politics is a sort of strange gerontocracy. In both parties, it has to be said. I mean, in most countries, by the way, in recent years, certainly countries like France, Germany, Britain, and I think Australia to an extent, we've sort of fetishized young people in politics. You know, everyone always wants a fresh face. And of course, sometimes a fresh face has something to be said for it, but of course, experience has something to be said for it as well. So you could say that some countries went a bit too far into the sort of, let's have a fresh face, new face. Canada, for instance. Not that that Justin Trudeau could be said to be that fresh or new, but there are a lot of countries that have went that way. America has not. America has decided that you really can't be anything in public office unless you're turning 80. The octogenarian class still runs America, and as we saw in Nancy Pelosi again this week, it has some very weird effects. We know the tendency of Joe Biden to lose his train of thought. We know the tendency of Donald Trump to sometimes lose his train of thought as well. But Nancy Pelosi is an absolute world leader in it, and of completely bizarre behavior. And yes, I wrote about this week because the latest one was for all Pelosi watchers. We watch her eagerly at all major events. You might remember last year when the man who killed the policeman who killed George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, was sentenced. Nancy Pelosi came out on the steps in Washington and with members of the Black Caucus of the Democrat Party, and fully masked, Nancy Pelosi looked up at the sky and she said, "Thank you, George Floyd. Thank you for sacrificing your life for justice." which was such a weird thing to say, as if George Floyd set out that morning hoping to do something really great for his country. It was so strange. It was so typically strange of Nancy Pelosi. You'll remember at the State of the Union address the other day, she sat behind Joe Biden, and at one point, she was so ecstatic and so keen to do standing ovations, although she's not very good at them, I'm afraid, poor thing, as she gets older. At one point, she threw herself up so fast she almost fell over the podium and had to sort of steady herself. And then there was she did this weird knuckle rubbing like a girl on Christmas morning about to get presents. And she did this and got up and grinned manically. And Joe Biden was talking about burn pits. And she didn't at all stop the old knuckle rubbing, happy girl on Christmas morning thing. She just sat down, still rubbing away. And then this week we had the great thing of her reading of the latest work by Bono. She announced on St. Patrick's Day that she had a message to read from Bono, which you know, Rita, is one of the most fateful phrases in the English language. When somebody says they've got a message from Bono, you've got to stop. You've got to get clear out. And it was worse. She said she had a poem from Bono. And she read this interminable poem about St. Patrick and the snakes, and then and finished with an attempt to rhyme something with Zelensky that didn't really work. But she did all of this as if reading the poem by Bono was going to solve the war in Ukraine, apart from anything else. Anyhow, it was typically strange behaviour from Nancy Pelosi, and I hope people notice it, because it's very worrying that the world's most powerful nation, it seems at all the top levels to be run by people who seem strange, if nothing worse.
Yeah, she's out to lunch. And you know the worst part about that is she was gonna retire, and now she's running for re-election again.
She is.
Yeah. I don't know who's right. I don't know. He's right though. I don't know who's worse, her or Biden.
I think they're both out of the same home.
Kamala's worse because she just don't know.
That's exactly right.
It is, and we sit and laugh. Like I said, beginning of the show, we laugh, and you can't help but laugh. But then you got to sit and go, "These are our leaders."
Yeah,
that's third in charge of the United States. If something happens to the other two, she moves up.
And this is Australia saying the most powerful nation in the world, and they're being run by people who are not even mentally capable.
I don't know. Trump was mentally capable. You know, Trump.
Right.
But now they're right. And they were worried about John McCain's mentality. Remember his mental state? They questioned. Holy crap! Are you kidding me? And they don't question Biden's. You know, or for that fact, what happened to Article 25 they were talking about on the vice president? You don't hear nothing more about it.
No. And I know everybody probably wants to know why we're not talking about the whole thing with the Supreme Court nomination with what's her name? And she was asked, do you know what a woman is? Do you know what a woman is? How do you answer that? What do you say? And she was stunned by it. She's like, no, because I don't know what you're looking for here. But she goes, no, I'm not a biologist.
It's too vague of a question.
Yeah.
I'm a judge, you know.
Right. Yeah, you need to narrow that down.
It's whatever. I mean, our country is run right now by, I don't know. It's like the most stupidest people I've ever seen. Seriously. It's terrible. Yep, you're right. What else you got, Doug? You got something on schools, and that's what I was waiting for.
No. Well, we talked about it earlier, which is this school in Wisconsin is really in a heated debate because they want, if you identify as a female, you can go into the female bathrooms and they will make accommodations. So they'll give you a curtain or whatever they want to call it. If you want to go into the locker room, you are more than welcome to go into the locker room.
Out of control. Mark, you're right.
It is out of control.
Yeah. That's why would they ask her that, though? Do you know the woman is? Well, Mark's got the best answer. Yeah, a man has a penis, a woman has a vagina. What more do you want to know? A woman can breastfeed a child, a man can't.
Well, there was a 6-year-old that told Arnold Schwarzenegger that in a movie.
Yeah, kindergarten cop.
Yes. Let's see. It's just so much stuff. Oh, if you want a list of the hate groups, I could get that out to you too. There's a lot of them, and some of them you may be a part of and not know it. They come with plain Jane names.
The problem here, the problem I got is this: if you don't agree with what the woke nation is putting out, they automatically label you a hate group. Well, let's just take Snow White, for example, and I always go back to that. I feel there's no problem with the prince giving Snow White a kiss and wakes her up. So, if you have a problem with that, does that mean I can say you're part of a hate group? How can we, who determines? Because they have opinions, and it might not be hate. They just have strong opinions.
Right.
And they're not doing anything to promote hate towards the other group or whatever, just strong opinions against it. Who determines that becomes a hate group now? The woke? The woke? Who?
Probably.
Black Lives Matter, Antifa? Who?
Yeah, I think me and you can decide that that's a hate group, and we can lobby everybody to say, "Yep, they're a hate group," and you're labeled.
And every single politician that's going with this is afraid to say it's not a hate group because they don't want it brought up. Well, he's okay with this hate group over here,
right?
So who's running the fucking country is the question. If you want the true answers, it ain't Biden, Harris, or Pelosi's. They're not running the country. Somebody else is running the country up top, making them decisions. You clearly see that with the way they talk. Right. But on the other side, who's running this country making these decisions? I mean, when is the time come where we say, you know what, this is bullshit? Get the hell out of my office. That's what I want. Get out of my office with that.
Right.
So what else we got, Doug? We got early tonight, or
yeah, a little bit. Well, I know you got like another 10 minutes of stuff to say. So this lady in Florida, she gets pulled over by the cops, and she was asked if it was 2 a.m. in the morning, and she was asked if she'd been drinking. And she said no. And then the son in the back of the car, 9 years old, he goes, "Mom, you can't lie to the police. You did drink." Well, she ended up getting arrested for DUI. She was, I think, 3 times over the legal limit with a 9-year-old in her car.
That's called child endangerment.
Yep. And hopefully, every organization's involved in their lives now.
Are they?
Yeah.
What, that she was being picked on?
No, that she had that kid out 2 a.m. drinking vodka.
Well, you know what? I don't. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't disagree that they shouldn't be on her. I mean, you tell me a story like that and want me to feel sorry for somebody? I'm not.
No.
You get a DUI, you get a DUI. You got kids in the car, now we got an issue. Okay. You know, and let's face it, most of you know, I was a pretty heavy drinker, and I got 2 of them myself, one in 2001 and one in 2006. I was 0.17 on one and 0.32 on the other, so I was 4 times the legal limit. Did I deserve it? Yeah. Yes. I deserved it. I went in and pled no contest to both of them, you know. Yeah. Was it Russian vodka? Should be the question, Mark. Was it Russian vodka?
Right.
Oh, that's only in Ohio right now, isn't it?
No. What's his name? Walter Putin. He doesn't want any imports from Russia.
Yeah, what do we do with the Russian vodka and stuff we got now, though? They should be able to sell it until it's out.
I agree with you.
Hurting a business person.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't think that they're allowed now.
Who's going to pay for that inventory?
You know what? But most bars are probably doing it anyhow until they're gone.
I would. And if they come in and says you're selling Russian vodka, it's what I had in my inventory.
Pay me for it, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah, you write me a check right now. You take all you want home. I've already paid for it. I already paid taxes on it. It was taxed to be imported in. It was taxed when it was sold to the distributor. It was taxed when I bought it, you know, from the distributor. You already got taxed. Now you got to tell me I got to dump it out? No, I'm not. You know, I'm not. There would be a lot of different vodkas with Russian vodka in it. No, I don't have none. It's, you know, so send it to Nancy. Yeah, I bet you her Russian vodka's still there. I don't know, though. They froze her account, too, in Russia. So,
yeah.
And she's one of them got her accounts froze. They're all squawking about that, but media ain't going to cover that.
No.
So, what else, Doug?
That's all I have.
We got a whole bunch, but we're gonna stop at 1 hour and 30 minutes.
We could keep going if you
Call
want.
it a night.
You're sad about
We'll
this.
go next week.
We'll go.
No, I'm
5 hours next week. Make up for it.
Here's the thing, people. You gotta, you know, like I said, we put. All right, I just caught that. We put 2 younger guys on tonight. Like I said, to get their views, and you know they're what 15% of that generation. 15% think the same.
According
We're
to
in
them.
trouble. But there is hope. There is hope. Our hope is y'all go out and vote June 28th. You vote in Ohio. You vote. We can't have Mike DeWine in office no more. We can't have some of these other idiots in office anymore. And please, you know, if you don't want to vote for Mark Bakita, who I'm voting for, Doug, I'm voting Mark Bakita. We're pushing it and push him on the show. He's who we need in office. Please do not vote for Josh Mandel. Please. He's an idiot. You know, you got to vote. If you're not signed up to vote, go sign up, register, vote. It's the only way we're going to change. See you later, Robbie. Other than that, I appreciate y'all watching. Just so you know, we get censored. We proved it. We're getting censored again. So sorry if you have interruptions in your service. That's out of our hands. That's Facebook. Because we started talking about, you know, talking and everything else probably, and, you know, not agreeing with that, and, you know, went against their agenda of the woke generation there, but it is what it is. We'll continue the show until they completely kick us off, and then we'll start a new platform.
Yeah.
So God bless y'all. God bless America. Have a good night, people. Thank you.
See ya.